A few years ago, I had an experience that changed my creative life forever. Let me explain. It all started when I was on a trip in May of 2023 to the great city of Chicago. It was my first time being in the city, especially one that big, and it was amazing. It was blowing my mind constantly. I was there with a group of my fellow students from a class that I was taking in church. Feel free to read the Bible. And the first thing that we did while we were there was first check into the house that we were staying at. I think it was like an Airbnb, and go to the art museum. This is where the story really turns around for my creative endeavors. As I was walking around, amazed by most of the art that I was seeing, looking at every wall, every statue, everywhere that I could, and just really, soaking it in, really being the sponge that I am. I came to a very unique room, and I didn't know it at the time, but that room held something that would change my life for my photography and my creativity. That room, that magical room, held something that changed me. I walked in. It was a pretty dark room, except for the far corner. As I walked in, the lights got dark. My eyes struggled to comprehend what I was seeing. It was a white pedestal in the middle of the room. There was a clear plastic cover over what sat on top of that pedestal. And to my amazement, in the middle of that room, in the art museum in Chicago, there was a projector. At the far end, there was a screen. Now, honestly, I can't remember if there was a screen actually, or if it was a just a blank wall that was white. That might be more likely, since it was the museum. But on top of that stood a whirring machine filled with light, wonder, and excitement for little 20-year-old me. I like a good vintage thing, and I knew about them, but I never seen them really in work. And so I took a second to stop and listen to the music that this machine was making. And honestly, it was pretty amazing. A lot of the stuff that I experienced that day, I just looked at. I thought it was pretty cool. I took a lot of pictures, but this I only got one picture of. And the picture that I got, I look back on often because I think it's kind of amazing. And maybe it's just the memory of it that I think is amazing, but I look at it often. It's on my phone. And that photo is this. The focus of the exhibit was on African American photographers and people being photographed, but that didn't really matter to me because the photos that I was seeing were amazing. There were photos of Harlem being built. There were photos of various African American artists and people that took photos. I was stunned because the photos themselves had this vibrancy that I had not seen before. It felt like the photos were alive in a way that not even a video could replicate. It was amazing. And so, after seeing that and having my total mind blown by what I saw and the life and vibrancy of what I saw, I decided to delve into this subject to figure out what it was and how to do it myself. Because when I see something, that is often my response. I want to do it. I don't just want to look at it. I want to create it myself. Thank you very much. First, I had to do a little research. I was already, I would not say adept, but I was already in the knowledge. My mind and my fingers had done a lot of research into film photography. I love film photography. I do it a lot. But I was already quite accustomed to film photography. What I was not accustomed to was positive photography. This is one of my folders of film that I have taken. Typically, when you take a film photo, you will take a photo on something that looks like this when it is developed. It's brown. On each one of these little squares is a photo that I have taken. And that was what I had been accustomed to for, I think I had been taking film photos for probably 2 years at that point. As I said, I understood it, and I had done it. But what I did not understand and had not done was positive film photography. Those are called negatives after they have been developed. Typically, you take a photo, send it to a place to get developed, or if you have the ability yourself, you develop it yourself. And it comes out with that brownish hue that then you later color grade and add the color back in to create a positive image digitally. But what I had not done was experience positive film photography, which means that when you take a photo, it comes out with the true color of whatever you took a picture of. So this is a photo, that is a photo. Each one of these you can take and print right up. There's my brother. Can you see it? Hold on, let me get a little bit more light behind this so you can really see it. So as you can see, on those, the colors are true. They are real as to what you took the photo of. As I delved deep into the world of positive film photography and making my own slides, I had to purchase a display screen. I had to purchase a beautifully vintage film projector. And then I had to go and fill up all of these slides with photos that I had taken. And this is the sound that I had experienced that year that really changed my perspective on things. That whir and click, the fan coming on to make sure that it didn't overheat. And then, let's not forget, the film as it rotated through. Each slide showing something totally different and unique to my young eye. Now, I tried to make sure that that fan was not running in every single shot of this video, but it might be a little bit difficult. I also hope that the lighting can be balanced on this, because it's a little bit difficult having a very bright screen right here and then having it a little dark. I tried to balance everything, but if it doesn't come out perfectly, I'll just put the digital photo over this and replace it. But I really hope that you guys can see the beauty of what I get to see, because I think it's pretty amazing. And if anything, I want this video to inspire you to, one, check out your interests. You know, if you see something, pursue it. If you think it looks neat, try it. Especially if it's creative, you know. Don't try cocaine, folks. It's not. Don't look at it and say, hey, might want to try that. Don't do heroin. So I thought I would take you all through some of my photos that I have taken on this beautiful screen right here. And hopefully it'll come out okay, right? Of course it will. By the power of movie making. So first up is a photo that I took on a little nature walk that we were doing. This is by a river that is close to our house. Thank you. Next slide. Well, I'm right here, howdy, sitting in the dark. You might be able to see this for me, and you might not, but that's not really the point. The point is to look at the pretty trees. Look at the pretty trees. So once again, this is from the same. So once again, this is from the same nature walk that I was on. It's not the best photo, but still, the fact that it's on such old technology and that it's on such an old practice as film and slide film, and being able to take photos like that still astounds me. The crispness of it, the fact that you can see all the ripples and little details in the water and little waves that are being made. the motion that I feel is in it still surprises me, and I'm kind of in awe at. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to get into it. This photo I like. It's a blend of human right here and nature over there. It's not my best, but still. Can you see? Hold on. Let me do a little. Look at the detail in the hair. Can you see that? Can you see the detail in the hair? Look at it. The detail in the hair is very impressive. The fact that you can see each little strand, kind of amazed at. Very impressive to me. To me, I find it impressive. Here's a photo of my mom that I did on that same walk. Once again, I find the crisp detail of it to be kind of astounding, a little bit amazing. The digital scan always comes out really, really clean on these two. So I love that photo. I think it's great. And I don't know why, but can you see, hold on just a second. Can you see the little ellipses in the background? I feel like it almost creates like a swirl around. Like the background is really, really cloudy, but the sheet's very clear. I think that that's really cool. Almost looks like a warp in the background, like a time warp. And then she's just standing there. I think it's cool. Again, another nature photo and another. Now this was taken on a trip that my mom and I did through the tunnel of trees in Michigan, up near the Upper Peninsula. I was taking photos and also thought that it'd be a great place to, one, practice my portrait photography, and two, get some photos for her because she needed some for a profile, for like jobs and church profile, stuff like that. So the next upcoming photos, I believe, are going to be those. So this one I really like. I feel like the blend of the yellow of the sand, the blue of the sky, the fact that you can see little itty bitty wispy clouds, little sneezes of God right there. And I like the perspective. I was really down low to the ground. I remember taking this shot, and I still like it. You're welcome. So this is where I got into taking some portraits for whatever she needed profiles for. I like this. There were a bunch of big rocks, and so I decided to take photos. Mainly, I really love how positive slide film reacts to greens and blues. I feel like the blues and greens really pop. These turned out like really emerald, and this turned out really, really blue. This is another one that I did. I really like it. The yellow of the sun, the action kind of in the hair, the motion that we get from that, and then again those greens really popping. One thing that I think is really important with these as we're going through is to remember that in the digital age that we are in, that is constantly being able to manipulate photos and do things to digitally alter them and make sure that they are perfect. One of the biggest reasons that I love film photography in general, but even that can sometimes be manipulated. One of the reasons that I love slide film photography is because the image that is displayed here is the same image that was taken. Like, not only is it just the same image, yeah, nothing's been altered, but that film that the light is shining through was at this place. Like, this photo is the closest that you can get to being within this picture. And I think that's pretty cool to think about. That the piece of plastic that this image is imprinted upon through the process that I went through to imprint it upon it is the same photo, the same film, the same exact object that was at this place. So that photo, that when I looked it up, It said that it was Whitney Houston and Jermaine Jackson. I don't know about that. All the photos that I looked up of both of them don't really look like them. So I question that. I question Google AI. Not a big fan of AI, but let's get onto that later. The film that was being shown was at that place, and that's amazing. So just keep that in mind as we continue looking through these photos. This right here, another photo of her. I like this one, the lounging. I was definitely trying to learn how to take portraits, and I like this one. I think that this is a perfect example of how the blues and greens react with the photo that I was taking. I am pretty sure that the film that I was using was a Provia. I can look on it, but I don't really want to. I'm feeling lazy right now. Because Fuji film always reacts really beautifully to blues and greens, whereas I feel like Kodak reacts a lot better to golds and yellows and browns. Just look at that. I mean, that is... I don't know that it's a great photo. I mean, obviously it's flipped around. And that's also another fun thing that happens with film photos. Sometimes you put it in and it's just wrong. But the blues and greens are stunning in this photo to me. Yet another photo at the shipyard that we went to. I thought it was a cool flag, and I like the fact that it was on a boat. Looks very nautical. Looks very... I like the contrast of the colors within that photo. We went apple picking. All of these photos turned out really overexposed, and that's kind of a problem with positive slide film, because as I mentioned, you can't digitally change it. So whatever settings you have on that film is exactly what you're going to get. So this is total photographer error, but still, I like all these photos. I like the emotion shown. That's a happy face right there. That's a very happy face. That's my little brother. He had long hair. He does not anymore. Looks like he is examining that apple. Really like those greens and reds. There are a lot of photos that I'm passing over because I don't like them. This one I don't like because all of that is way too overexposed. If that was blue with a little tinge of yellow, I would like it. But that's blown out. I don't like that. This right here is 1 out of 2 of one of my very favorite photos that I have ever taken on film. Slide film. The red, the green, the yellow, the peaks of blue. I don't feel like anything in that is overexposed. I like the vignetting around it. I think that is almost a perfect picture, if I do say so myself. There are a lot that have sentimental meaning. There are a lot that I like, but none of them I would say are perfect, or sometimes they aren't even good. That's a very good photo. I like that photo. I went to a motorcycle rally with my family, and this is a very blurry photo, but I was trying my best to look like Hunter S. Thompson because he wrote Hell's Angels, and because I like Hunter S. Thompson. So I wore this bucket hat and these yellow sunglasses that he was famous for, and Vans, which he also wore. And a guy made fun of me there for wearing a bucket hat. He had no sleeves and probably looked like he needed some dental work, but he made fun of me, and I didn't like that day. I liked it before, but then I didn't. Don't make fun of people for the things they wear. Thank you. That's a picture of me. I don't remember exactly where I was for this, but I went out fishing with my mother and brother, and somebody had put one of the picnic tables from the nearby campsite into the lake. So I went out because I was in swim trunks for fishing and the same hat that the guy made fun of me for wearing, and jumped off. And my mom took this photo, got the exposure right, got everything right about it. So that is right as I entered the water. It's not a perfect photo, but I like it. It shows me as I am. A free bird jumping into the Wawa, doing a little lake dive, you might say. This is the same spot, if you couldn't tell. And that's me sitting instead of jumping. That is less me. Mostly, I'm jumping. Green, I like. Yellow, I like. Brown, I like. Mom, I love. Brother, I love. This makes me feel Wes Anderson. A lot of the same color with one bright color. And that shade of red makes me feel Wes Anderson-y. Can you see that shade of red? I like that shade of red. This photo I remember taking as well. I had gotten up, it was a summer day, to go to work, and I saw this beautiful orangey golden light coming through the windows of the door that's on this side, the front door, and I really liked the light, and I thought that would be really pretty, especially with a film that could pick up golden hues very well. So I like the slant there. I like I like that one. I like it. Sometimes you don't even have to set up for a great photo or really like look for one. Sometimes it just comes out and you just have to be willing to run downstairs before the light fades or gets brighter or changes it all and take a little bit of time, maybe even be a little late to work, as I often am, and take a good photo. I like that one. Very Wes Anderson. Don't know what to say to that. I like the pastels. The fact that it's not too bright makes it look vintage. Red, blue, yellow. Need I say more? Okay, now this roll I remember as well. This roll was a little old, I think, and so a lot of these photos came out with this kind of bluey, purpley, red tint to them, but I still really like them because it kind of adds to the vintage mystery of them. So this was at night in a small town in Michigan. This photo is less about the structure of it and more about kind of like the design. I love the silhouette of the really spidery branches coming out. So it's not like you can really see anything in particular. You can tell that it's tree, sky, lake. But I really like just the shape of the tree as it extends over the water, and you can see the silhouette of it. This was a dry dock because we went in the fall, and so all of these boats and sailboats were up on land, and I thought that they were cool to take a picture of. Same trip, different area of that same dry dock. This was part of the regular dock, but it was like a houseboat type thing. This is one of those very few perfect photos that I talked about before. This photo I really love. Are the colors perfect to what the scene was? Nope. But I feel like this could be the cover of a country music album. It's all red, it's all yellow, it's all kind of that purpley off color that I was talking about, but man, is it perfect and do I love it. I think it's great. Can I zoom in a little bit to show you the detail of it? A little bit more so zooms into the light in the background. But I love this photo, and I love the memory that is associated with it. That's a better close-up of that little houseboat thing that I was talking about. I think that's cool. I'd like to live like that. This was in between those boats that were dry docked, as I was talking about. I like the way that green and red complement and bounce off each other. This was a 19 or 20-year-old me trying to take a self-portrait. I kind of like it just because I know exactly where this was taken. This was taken, that says motel, because I was out taking photos of this sign of a motel that was vintage and cool, and I like old signs and taking photos of old signs. But this was in my Jetta, my first car. So I like the memory of this photo more than I like the photo itself, because you can't really see me and you can't really tell the age of me or exactly what was going on. But I like it for memories. This was a photo from a different beach trip we took. That's a sailboat. I really like the aquamarine-y blues that happened here mixed with the kind of lighter baby blues of the sky mixed with the dark blues. I like the blues in this photo. This is a hot air balloon show that we went to. I got a lot of good photos from it just because I feel like the typical hot air balloon has a lot of different colors going on, so it gives the film different colors to react to and kind of pop out at. One guy decided to attach a chair to a hot air balloon and fly away like that. That was cool to witness. But I like the really vivid colors of that, contrasted with the very vivid blue of the sky as well. This is the photo that I was talking about. This is one of the very rare, perfect photos that I can say that I've taken on slide film. I just remember walking along and seeing this leaf on the ground, and I thought, wow, that's, it's pretty. It's a cool leaf. I like the colors. So I can zoom in to get the colors better. But just kind of the yellowy green. Let's see if I can. Just the yellowy green of the leaf mixed with the just brown kind of dull background I really liked. And I had no idea that this would turn out to be one of my favorites, just with the way that it kind of vignette out, and oh my word, just everything about this photo I love. I think that it is one of the rare, as I said, perfect photos that I have taken, and I love it. And we're back to the beginning. So let me bring the house lights back up. And so I wanted to make this video as just kind of a reminder of chasing things that you find interesting creatively, pursuing things and processes that you find cool, inspired by, and that make you kind of hum, that make you just really giddy to take a photo. Because now when I think of getting back out there and taking photos on film, I want to go take some more photos that I can look through. So be inspired. If you like some of my photos, thanks. I took them because I thought they were good. I feel like it's always weird talking about my own photos because no one will be like, yeah, that's a great photo. But I think that some of my photos are good. Have a great rest of your day. Be inspired. Take experiences that you have gone through, small experiences like going to an art museum and seeing one picture, and be inspired by it to go make more amazing art, because that's what we need. We need some great, fantastic, wonderful, new, innovative art that you have been inspired by. If you like this video and kind of like the concept of it, then one, leave a like, just because that lets me know that you liked it. And two, I have 4 other rolls of 100 photos that I can go through that are not mine. I went to a vintage store and found a whole bunch of photos that I think are really beautiful, that somebody else took. I have no idea who they were, but some of them are really cool. So if you want to see that, leave a comment, let me know, like it. I don't know. I might post it even if you don't like it, because I think that they're cool to look at. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next Clear Focus Film.